Disclaimer time, Touhou belongs to Zoom. Any pictures, videos, or music here belong to their respective owners. So let's get this started. From food carts, to titles, and even music power. Hello, Magi here, and today we're back with another episode of Interesting Touhou Facts. The series in which I talk about facts from Touhou that I find either fun, unique, or simply interesting. So without further ado, let's begin the Interesting Touhou Facts number 13. Number 5. Let's talk about Shen for a bit, shall we? Anyway, while Shen is part of the Yakumo family, she actually doesn't have Yakumo in her name, which is rather strange. And even in Perfect Momentum, although Akyu calls Yukari and Ram with their last name in Shen's article, Akyu never once calls Shen Yakumo, and is never stated anyway why she isn't called Shen Yakumo as well. Maybe Yukari needs Shen to be stronger before she earns a Yakumo name or something? Who knows? Well, aside from Zoom anyway, but you get the point. Number 4. Now Remelia, being the charismatic vampire that she is, isn't exactly the best when it comes to spell card names. While in EOSD the names of the cards sounded typical for a vampire, her future cards have you going, how the fuck did you come up with this? Some of her more unusual cards are called Ceiling Fear, Bad Lady Scramble, Millennium Vampire, Remelia Stretch, and my favorite, Duck Duck Bat. I mean, fuck the goose, let's put a bat instead because why the bloody hell not? Am I right? One of her cards, Remelia Stoker, I'll give her props on that since it's referencing Bram Stoker, the man who created the novel Dracula. Regardless, never trust Remelia to name anything or you might regret it. Number 3. Did you know that Mystia, while being in a punk rock band with Kyoko, also owns a food cart stand? She hates yakitori, which are grilled chicken on sticks. The reason she hates them is because she is a kind of bird, so she started a grilled lamprey stand instead of a yakitori stand. The lamprey is important because it's believed that these creatures had 8 eyes and are able to cure night blindness. And you'll see how it comes into play. She used this as a part of a con act. She will travel with her stand at night, use her power to make unwary travelers night blind, then sell them grilled lamprey, and slowly remove the effect as they eat it, claiming that the lamprey was what cured. Wow, bloody hell, you're one smooth motherfucker, Mystia. Brilliant, I must add. Now imagine Mystia teaming up with Tay. A lot of ka-ching ka-ching would be made, no doubt about it. Number 2. We're going to be doing something completely different and talk about the Legacy crew, specifically Junko. This insane asshole of a last boss has something unique that none of the other characters in the Windows eras has. She's the first Windows era's character with an official profile that doesn't have a proper title. This is likely due to her ability to purify shit, that she no longer needs an identity. Now there are 2 other characters with no titles, Dayusei and Kokuma. As you guys know, they didn't have character profiles because Zoom never planned for those 2 to be actual characters until the fans gave them their names. Who needs title when you're annoying as fuck? Number 1. To end this episode off, let's talk about the Prism River sister, as they, like many other characters, have unique abilities. First of all 3 sisters are able to perform on musical instruments without hands or feet. If I had an ability to make stuff happen without touching something, that would make life a lot more pleasant. But anyway, I just wanted to note that it is something that all 3 sisters have. Now to the main part, each individual's ability. Now Lunasa, the oldest, is able to perform melancholic notes. These are notes that calm people's feelings. Upon hearing her performance too much, the listener falls into such depression where they don't want to do anything. Try not to listen to it for too long for obvious reasons. Merlin is able to perform maniac notes. These notes are notes that enhances people's feelings. Upon hearing her performance and receiving too much influence, a listener's feelings become abnormally good so as to not be able to speak, and would induce a feeling of wanting to do a spontaneous dance. Also, since the sound of trumpets resound far away, it may have an effect on mind and spirit even if heard from afar. Now these abilities are in a sense more powerful and dangerous than you realize, depending on how you look at it. Lunasa and Merlins are notes that affect mind and spirit. While humans are not affected by this, the ones we really need to take note of are the yokai. Yokai have to worry about their mind and spirit more than humans since their bodies are built better than we are. With the way Lunasa and Merlin's abilities work, it can be said that in a sense, those two are yokai's natural enemies. Their abilities is even shown in the main games, specifically Phantasmagoria. If you choose either Lunasa or Merlin in versus mode, and as long as your opponent isn't one of the other sisters, then win the match, your opponent will produce a happy smile or sorts, instead of the more sad-faced version of when you lose. Humans, yokai, motherfucking yuka, and even Ikishiki have their face forcibly turned tedious or smiling, which goes to show that their notes are not something to be laughed at. I mean, who the fuck wants to smile when they lose in a Demako battle? I sure as hell wouldn't. I know I've been talking about Lunasa and Merlin a lot, but don't worry, I haven't forgot about Lyrica. Now Lyrica is able to perform illusionary notes. These are notes that don't exist in the natural world, the supposed dead notes of the outside world, so to say. It integrates melancholic and maniac notes and has an effect of making them easier to hear. The added effect of making the three sisters' performance more tolerable to its listener is due to her help. As the keyboard is like an illusion, it seems like a symbol of an instrument that performs notes that have been lost or become dead in the outside world. It has no effect on the mind and spirit, but perhaps since it does not directly resound in the mind and spirit, it seems that according to Marissa, although her performance has technique, it doesn't resound with the heart and is therefore dull. Also, due to playing notes of her characteristics, even if she was a Phantasmagoria, she doesn't have the cool effect of making her opponents smile like her older sisters do. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Which facts were your favorite? Do you want to trust Rumelia to name anything you guys have? Are you curious to try Misty's cooking, even though you know she's gonna try to scam your ass? Or are you impressed that the Prism River Sisters note had an effect on everyone, even Yuka and Igishiki? Either way, this is Magi, and I hope you guys enjoyed this episode.